I've always loved geometry. But really, if you look at geometry, nature defines geometry. There are so many forms in nature in which geometry is inherent. So to really separate geometry and nature is impossible for me to do. There's so many design elements in nature: repetition, symmetry, asymmetry, positive, negative space, line, form, shape, weight. Nature is design. I love how tools can be an extension of your hand and your thoughts and your inner vision and your eyes and your heart and your soul. And all of that comes out into your hands and into the tool, and the tool helps you make that in physical form. I've always been a combination of a right brain and a left brain thinker. I find I can access the creative side, but at the same time, I have this project management side, this precision side that somehow gets combined with the design. And I guess maybe that's why maybe that's part of the reason why my designs end up being different, is that all the elements of design, and I apply them in a way that's very thoughtful, very thought out, and very deliberate and very precise. People looking at my jewelry may not realize it, but I put thought into every aspect of that piece, of that design. The curve is a certain dimension, a certain arc on purpose. The overall proportion of it is on purpose. I spent a lot of time looking at all of those things. In the process of crafting it, my work is different in that it's not amorphic, and it doesn't have the tolerance that amorphic pieces of jewelry or art have. It's got to be very precise. The joints have to line up. The edges need to be square. Otherwise, the design doesn't come off. And so I find I'm always combining those two, the right brain and the left brain, in my pieces. The intuitive creative process that first got me into architectural design, that's the same creative process that got me into jewelry. It's just that finding my expression through the jewelry has been different than anything I've ever experienced. Finding my expression in the jewelry, I don't know, it's the ultimate expression. It's the way, it's almost, I know it's gonna sound, I literally feel like it's why I was put on this earth. It's such a different medium than, cooking a meal and putting together food ingredients and ending up with this meal at the end. Because metal is it's a hard thing. It's not malleable like a lot of other things. And so I still have that same amazement that I created this thing out of metal. And I use all raw materials. I start from scratch. I cut it, I form it, I anneal it, I solder it, I file it. Everything I do is hand finished, and that's a big signature part of my jewelry. This image in my head just exploded of this entire line The earrings, the word flamenco just came into my head, described the earrings perfectly. It's like all the music I listen to when I'm creating the jewelry, and that's how the flamenco line was born. My Out of This World line is meant to describe the materials that I use. I use meteorites. I've also always had a fascination with different types of gems, and rocks and minerals were always big in my family growing up. My dad loved them, and my brother's a geophysicist, and he was always into rocks. I don't know what I could do. I don't know what I would do if I couldn't do jewelry. If I couldn't design and fabricate and have that outlet to express this creative drive.